Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? I need to say something quickly. The weather over here in the UK has been just horrendous. You've probably seen a few pictures that I've posted on Twitter. It has snowed for the past week here. We have had probably in total of somewhere between 8 to 16 inches of snow. I kid you not. So yeah, it's absolutely horrendous. The buses here are stopping after like 7 o'clock at night, so I'm having to leave work a bit early just to make sure that I'm home safe. But my God, yeah. So I know that parts of America, mostly on the eastern side of America, have also been having snow as well. My God, we're re-entering the ice age, people. We are re-entering the ice age. Global warming sucks. Anyway, enough about that. This is my No Ordinary Family review, and I'm reviewing last night's episode, which was No Ordinary Anniversary, which sees Jim and Stephanie Powell, bless them both, married for 18 years. So they decide to plan a nice romantic evening between the two of them, go out for a nice romantic meal to celebrate 18 years of marriage together. George can't believe it. He's actually very shocked, as it were. He's overwhelmed, as I would say, that they're been married this long. But this episode also involves, again, you've got Will, as we're going to call him anyway. I don't even know what his name is. That's Katie's new date. Katie, by the way, I still have to admit, that girl is geeky beyond belief. That's all I can say. So he's now been given an assignment by Dr. Stephanie Powell's boss to keep an eye on her family. And he does get very close. I think close to the point of where he now realises that they do actually exhibit special abilities, mainly because that the main villain in this episode is a guy who can create fire from his entire body. Quite a dodgy looking fella as well, I have to say, because I remember when the first fire that Jim saved this kid from, there's this dude standing, he looked proper trampy, and he just looked so weird. I'm thinking, where the fuck did they pick him from? But yeah, he did look really weird. But what we find in this episode is, as I say, this guy who's been creating fires, we actually do find out that Stephanie's boss has actually been giving people superpowers through whatever, through an injection, obviously. Remember, I can't even remember which episode it was, but the one where we saw the girl that could make like sonic blasts with her hands, kind of thing, like mini earthquakes. So that was the thing, was like one of the first time that we saw someone else using the power that was created, that was injected in them, because she was obviously going to kill Stephanie's boss. But then what we also find, as I say, in this episode, what really was amazing was JJ. was I wouldn't say he was being bullied. He was more like provoked by a couple of older kids at school, because obviously he plays football in the team now, doesn't he? Then he overhears them saying that they're going to play poker, so he invites them back to his place just so he can win some money to buy a supercomputer that he's asking from his mum, that apparently is the only computer that can actually keep up with his brain. I swear to God, I love JJ, he's awesome. So there's Stephanie saying, no, you can't have it, this, that and the other, it costs so much, this is how much it's going to cost, this is how much it is, and this, that and the other. And he pretty much calculated how long it was going to take for him to save up in order to buy the computer. But as I say, he plays poker, and he uses his brain as usual. But then I think they start off with a 7-card game, so obviously he's able to see the cards and know how to beat them. Then they use a 5-card game where this time they can't see the cards, so that puts him in a bit of a difficult position. So he decides to ask Daphne for help. Obviously, unbeknownst to Daphne, that this poker game was happening, so he has to bribe her and everything. As I say, at this point, Jim and Steph are already out for their meal. There was do you know what? I really do love Stephanie Powell's powers, because it's almost like seeing a female version of the Flash. Alright? The way that she went to change their names on the list for the restaurant that they booked, because apparently the bitch that was at the restaurant kept telling them it was 45 minutes and that she couldn't make time go faster and everything. So there was that moment. The bit with the arsonist as well, sort of like towards the end, where Stephanie kept having to run away from this guy, and you just see in the background how he it goes into full on flame on form. Tell you what, I know one person who's going to be proud of this. Human Scorch, my evil twin, is going to be proud of this moment, because this guy goes into proper full on flame on form. He is chasing Steph around this factory, and there she is, super speeding, and you just see how the camera slow-mos her movement, just so you can see the guy behind her flying through in a ball of fire after her. And I'm just thinking, this is awesome. It's just so amazing to watch, and it's what I don't want to keep delving back to it, but it's what I miss about Smallville. We've not seen enough superpowers being used on the show, especially this season so far. But watching No Ordinary Family and the way that they use the effects to good use is just amazing. What's even better, I don't know if many people are aware of this, that Todd Slavkin and Darren Swimmer are both consulting producers of No Ordinary Family. They actually used to work on Smallville. They've written a few episodes on Smallville in the past as well. So it's great that they're working on this, and it's even better seeing that they're having their input on. And I think obviously that Smallville connection is there. That might be the reason why this program may well be just as awesome as it is. But like I say, Stephanie Powers is just brilliant. Eventually she finds out how amazing Jim's crime fighting spree is. She gets invited back to the lair. There's George turning around to Jim saying, "I can't believe you've brought a girl back to the lair." And there's Steph going, "I can't believe you guys have a lair." So it's all happening. It's really great. But then it gets to the point of where both Jim and George look at Steph and think, "You should do this more often." Even George's like, "You know what? I should have partnered. She should have been my partner instead. I should have partnered with her instead of you," kind of thing. It's like, wow. And she's coming up with all these scientific ways of stopping the criminal and everything, and they're both like, wow, she's good. She's really good. But yeah, really, really amazing. And as I say, there's a moment where Daphne, because poor Katie, bless her, she wants to know if Will is telling the truth or not, because he said he's got a work emergency when in fact to stop the arsonist, rescue the arsonist from being arrested, because he eventually gets arrested. So when Daphne goes to read Will's mind, she can't hear it. She can't hear his thoughts. And she's telling JJ that it's almost as if he blocked her. So there's a possibility that they are aware that maybe, Will has certain powers, but we then find out, obviously last week's episode we saw him being injected with this serum. This serum is what allows him to have that special ability. So whatever Stephanie's boss is cooking up, it's definitely something interesting. But then towards the very end of this episode, somebody picks up takes a little sample of said, compound serum to find out what was injected out of the syringe by the doctor. So and this person was obviously the guy that was fired earlier in the episode. So it's all interesting. I really am loving this show. I really am loving this show. Every week I watch these episodes and I just think fantastic. And we're only in episode 9 now, and I'm sorry, but it's kicking Smallville's arse left, right and centre. I'm sorry, it is. It really is, because it's new, it's original, it's just fantastic. It really is. And they, as I say, they utilise the special effects. They use all the powers as much as possible to great effect. It really is amazing. And we even now find out that Jim is impervious to pain. He is heat resistant, basically. It's great. So all that's missing is tights and a cape. That's all it is. But no, seriously, awesome as always. And for you guys, thank you all for watching as well. So I'll probably see you Friday, because obviously Luther is going to be on from Smallville, and I'm guessing also on Friday again is Young Justice. So I think I'll do Young Justice first and then Smallville. So yay! See you later.